Welcome back to the community of light, chosen one. Pay close attention. The information I'm about to share will fundamentally alter your perception of yourself. Before the first star was lit and time began counting its own heartbeat, a council met in a dimension far beyond the human realm. This council was made up of ancient forces whose names would shatter your mind if spoken aloud, rather than men or angels. During that gathering, a decision was reached regarding you. Yes, you. The person who is currently viewing this. The person who has felt a strong sense of difference throughout your life. The person who has looked for solutions in the wrong places. They pointed as they gazed out into the infinite expanse of souls waiting to be born. They made their decision. They have imprinted you with an entity so powerful, dangerous, and strictly forbidden that entire civilizations have been destroyed simply for being aware of its existence. This gift combines a curse, a burden, and a blessing. It has been hidden within you since the time you took your first breath. Isolation and pain keep you safe, and the majority will never break through the walls. A secret guarded by the very struggles that almost destroyed you. Would you like to understand the reasons for the difficulties you've encountered in your life? What is the cause of your sense of isolation? Why does it appear that every victory comes at a cost that others never have to bear? Because of your diligence in preparation. You were the subject of forgery. You were put to the test to see if you were worthy of the potential that exists within you. Also, they failed to inform you of the following. They have kept the following information from you for your entire life. The anguish you felt, the rejection you faced, and the darkness you went through. Punishment was not administered. It served as a safeguard. The seal, lock, and encryption were in charge of protecting your gift until the specified time. That moment is now upon us. If you are currently hearing these words, you are feeling a deep-seated vibration in your chest, or tears are forming in your eyes for reasons you do not understand. If you feel this truth in your bones, please leave a comment below about the word ready. Please do not proceed beyond this point. You have spent your entire life preparing for this moment. The gift I'm talking about cannot be acquired. It cannot be acquired. It cannot be bought, stolen, or begged for. It was implanted within you before you took your first breath, before your parents became familiar with your name, before the world instilled in you a tendency to doubt your own abilities. It is more powerful than any weapon ever developed, deeper than science, and older than religion. And it serves a single purpose: to establish yourself as the sovereign, to liberate you, to give you access to realms of power that kings, presidents, and billionaires would sell their souls to have. However, the issue is as follows. The reason they kept it from you is as follows. The reason they tried to convince you that you were ordinary is as follows. The entire game changes when you activate this gift and claim what is already yours. You are no longer subject to the regulations. Constraints dissolve. The ceiling collapses. And those who take advantage of your limitations, thrive on your uncertainty, and build empires on your confusion will forever lose influence over you. Consequently, they assaulted you. Not with visible weapons, but rather in whispers. In case of rejection, with regards to failure, with people who should have loved you but couldn't, with aspirations that were nearly realized but ultimately failed, with assurances that were eventually disregarded, with hope turned to ashes in your hands. They purposefully committed this act. They required that you forget. They required that you make harbor reservations. They required you to accept the deception that you were the same as the rest of the population. Because if you ever discover your true identity, if you ever realize the potential that exists within you, their entire system will collapse. I'd like to inform you about those who have been overlooked. These are the individuals who came before you. The people who activated their gift. Those who declined to keep a low profile. Some of them are remembered in history as prophets, artists, revolutionaries, and insane geniuses who transformed everything. However, history was not accurate. They weren't exceptional. They were not chosen based on their superiority. They were chosen based on their willingness. They were chosen because they remained strong in the face of adversity, isolation, and darkness. They refused to surrender. They did not give up their gift in exchange for the ease of conformity. In addition, you are one of them. You've consistently been one of them. Every moment of your life that seemed to be wrong was actually correct. Every time you did not conform, you received confirmation. Each rejection served as a redirection. Closed doors provided protection. Because ordinary rooms are accessible via ordinary doors. Additionally, you were never meant to be ordinary. If this is reawakening an ancient part of you, please leave a fire emoji in the comments. I'll now explain the gift's actual function. However, it does not result in wealth, though it will undoubtedly follow. It does not result in fame, but it does increase your influence. It does not make you powerful in the way the world measures power. Its actions are far more hazardous. It breaks the illusion. The matrix is broken. It reveals the underlying strategy. Suddenly, you become aware of the pattern. These frequencies are audible to you. You are aware of the energy currents that circulate throughout all objects. You are aware of the other recipients of the gift. Imposters can be identified from a mile away. Before you say the first word, you can tell the difference between truth and deception. Time starts to curve around you. Not literally, but experientially. Tasks that used to take years to complete now take only a few weeks. Opportunities that used to take decades of hard work now appear in a matter of days. People who were previously inaccessible suddenly contact you. Doors that were previously locked suddenly swing open. Resources that were previously scarce are suddenly abundant. Furthermore, it is not magic. It's not a matter of chance. This is not an accident. It is the gift that serves its intended purpose, ensuring that you are on the right track. Obstacles are being removed. Preparing the way. Activating channels that were previously hidden but are now visible. However, it is critical that you understand the following. The gift isn't passive. It is not self-activating. It is incompatible with autopilot. Your participation is necessary. It requires your faith. It requires that you relocate when instructed to do so. Speak only when instructed. Take action when logic says you should wait. The majority of people are unable to do this. The majority of people want evidence before they will accept a claim. Before taking the first step, the majority of people need a clear path. However, you do not represent the majority of people. You were never. You'll never be. The gift requires a pure vessel, which is why you have endured so much pain. Not perfect. Not sinless. Not holy in a religious sense. However, unadulterated in terms of commitment. In terms of willingness, it is pure. pure in the sense of being able to maintain power without becoming corrupted by it. Every act of betrayal you have endured, each loss you've experienced, you repeatedly rose from your seat when you should have remained seated. You were in the process of purification. Your preparations were underway. You were prepared for this moment. Additionally, this moment is critical. The window is currently open. Currently, the seal is being broken. Currently, the planet is inundated with energy that awakens dormant abilities. However, it will not be operational indefinitely. Cosmological cycles exist. There are designated times. There are seasons when the Earth is in direct contact with heaven. As a result, what was previously considered impossible becomes inevitable. We are currently experiencing one of these seasons. Also, in the event that it is overlooked. If you continue scrolling past this, if you allow doubt to prevent you from feeling the emotions you are currently experiencing, the window will be closed. The seal will re-solidify, and you'll spend the rest of your life wondering what could have been. I do not intend to instill fear in you. I am attempting to reawaken you, because the forces currently attempting to prevent you from falling asleep are terrified. They can detect your movements. They are capable of detecting when you awaken. They can see the seal cracking. In addition, they are making every effort to divert your attention, to maintain your numbness. Continue scrolling through meaningless content while your destiny calls your name. However, you are still here. You continue to read. You continue to experience emotions. That is significant. That includes everything. I need the following action from you. Not tomorrow. Not until you're prepared. Not when the situation is ideal. Right now. It is imperative that you make a decision. Making a genuine decision. The type that fundamentally changes everything. I require you to retrieve your gift. Speaking aloud. Utilizing language. With the intention of. With all your being. Declare it. I assert my right to the present. I activate my power. I do exactly what my destiny requires of me. I give up my previous identity. I transform into the person I was always meant to be. Pronounce it with conviction. Repeat until you have experienced it. Repeat the phrase until the energy shifts. If you recently claimed it, please leave a yes comment below. Please be present to witness the declaration. Allow the universe to witness your dedication. Now witness the outcome. Perceive atmospheric fluctuations. Feel the expansion of your chest. Experience the clarity of your vision. That is the process of breaking the seal. The lock is being released. That is the point at which your gift becomes operational. It initially appears to be subtle, similar to a whisper, very similar to a breeze, similar to a knowing that comes from a deeper source than just thought. Please refrain from anticipating fireworks. Do not anticipate a lightning strike. True power is always transacted discreetly. Gentleness is consistently maintained. Consistently in ways that the uninformed would dismiss as pure coincidence. Look for indicators that will appear within the next 72 hours. A message from someone with whom you have not communicated in a long time. An opportunity that arises unexpectedly. A solution to a problem that has bothered you for months. An individual who can determine your exact needs without your explicit consent. A resource that is readily available when required. a door that opens without having to knock. These occurrences are not accidental. These are verifications. These are the reminders of my presence. I'm genuine. I'm currently employed. Believe me. Stick to me. I will accompany you to your home. However, it is critical that you remain vigilant. It is critical that you remain present. There is a need to resist the urge to justify it. Provide a rationale. To dismiss it as a random occurrence. As soon as you have any reservations, as soon as you ask, the moment you retreat into skepticism, the gift is once again laid to rest. Not because it's especially fragile. However, it relies on faith to function. Trust is necessary. It necessitates compromise. You make one stride. It requires 10. You open one of the doors. It has 100 openings. However, you must relocate first. It is critical that you respond to the whispers. One must follow the suggestions. You are obligated to accept invitations that contradict logic. However, you may feel a sense of well-being within yourself. Furthermore, the following is the information that they want to keep from you. The gift is not intended only for you. It was never just for your benefit. Indeed, it will transform your life. Absolutely, it will exceed your expectations. Certainly, it will allow you to exercise power and autonomy, and an abundance that most people only dream of having. However, this isn't the ultimate goal. What you do with it is the ultimate goal. It shapes you into the person you are today. How you use it to serve, heal, to reawaken, to liberate. Everyone who has ever activated their gift realizes the same truth. They were given it with the intention of distributing it, not the gift itself. Nonetheless, positive results. Overflow. The abundance. Freedom. Power. You are being called to a greater cause than your own. You are being activated for a mission that will require the full range of your abilities. Every lesson you learned. Every scar you've acquired. Each skill that you have acquired. Every connection you established. Nothing was wasted. There were no arbitrary elements. Your entire life was spent preparing for the future. And what follows is truly magnificent. The subsequent events were unprecedented. The events that follow will provide a rational explanation for what you have been through. If you feel compelled to assist others in awakening, please forward this message. No, your presence here is not accidental. I will notify you of the consequences of complete activation. When you stop resisting and begin to lose control. When you stop questioning and start believing in something. When control is given up in favor of total alignment with the gift. Initially, your energy undergoes transformation. Individuals are observing. They are unable to articulate it, but they can perceive it. Some people are attracted to you in the same way that moths are to flames. Others are drawn away in the same way oil is drawn from water. This is commendable. This is essential. This is the gift that helps you organize your life. Eliminating what isn't helpful. Attracting what is effective. Allow it to happen. Don't pursue those who leave. Refrain from using force against those who resist. Your genuine tribe will find you. You will be acknowledged by the appropriate people. Opportunities that are aligned will emerge. Second, your perspective changes. Symbols begin to appear in all directions. Recurring numerical values. Songs communicate with you. Individuals who are unfamiliar with you communicate exactly what you need. When a book is opened, it moves to the correct page. Dreams are transformed into messages. Intuition becomes irrefutable. This is not a case of psychosis. This isn't just wishful thinking. This is the gift that transmits its language to you. Developing a new outlook on reality. Recognize that all communication is a form of expression. Guidance is ubiquitous. If you have the ability to listen, everything is working to help you. Third, your timeline accelerates. It now takes weeks to complete tasks that previously took months. It now takes months to complete tasks that previously took years. Manifestation accelerates. The breakdown of cause and effect. Intention and outcome merge together. Think of something, and it appears. You need something, and it is delivered. A question is asked, and the answer is displayed. It does not always happen immediately. It is not always readily apparent. However, it happens so frequently that it is impossible to dispute. You begin to gain confidence in it after using it frequently enough. It is powerful enough to shape your entire existence. Fourth, your goal is clarified. The mist disperses. Confusion has been resolved. The uncertainty dissipates. You are aware of your reason for being present. Not in a vague way. Not in the theoretical sense. However, it is undeniable, precisely and specifically stated. With this knowledge, one can gain the courage to act. The audacity to claim it. The audacity of becoming it. Because the gift demonstrates more than just your purpose. It gives you the determination to succeed. Resources are required to finance it. The relationships that form its foundation. The ability to successfully navigate it. Fifth, your legacy begins. Not when you die, but during your lifetime. Because all objects you interact with from now on are imbued with frequency. Everything you create leaves an impression. Everyone you encounter gets a transmission. You become a walking activation point, a human tuning fork, a live catalyst. People will not understand why they feel differently after being around you. What is the reason for their differing perspectives after your speech? Why do they act differently after receiving from you? But you'll know. You will realize that the gift is working through you, using your services. I am expressing through you, and there is no higher honor. There's no higher calling. There is no deeper fulfillment. Now, let me tell you about the opposition. Because of the moment you activate, the moment you claim, the moment you embrace this power, you become a target. Not from people, not due to circumstances. However, they originate from forces that exist outside of the physical realm. Forces that rely on unconsciousness, that benefits sleep, that thrives on limitations. They don't want you awake. They don't want you free. They do not want you to be powerful. So they'll attack, but not with weapons that are visible, with thoughts that you believe are yours, but they are not, with doubts that emerge from nowhere, with fears that appear rational, but they're planted, with seemingly important distractions, but they are intended to derail you. Recognize it. Give it a name. Refuse it. Because you are protected. You are safe. You are protected by something much greater. then any force that may come against you. The same power that placed the gift within you. He stands guard over it. The same intelligence that triggered it defends it. The same love that drew you forth surrounds you. You cannot be stopped. You cannot be blocked. You cannot be delayed. Unless you have agreed to it. Unless you grant it permission. Unless you believe the lies. So remain vigilant. Stay sober. Stay focused. This is war, not a physical war. However, there is spiritual warfare, an energetic war, consciousness warfare, and you're a soldier. Whether you signed up or not, the instant you were born with the gift, you were enlisted. The moment you survived what was supposed to destroy you, you were promoted. The moment you agreed to your calling, you have been commissioned. And now you fight. Not when you're angry. Not with violence. Not with hatred. But with love. With truth. With light. With absolute unwavering commitment. To become everything you were meant to be. Whatever obstacles you may face, if you have gotten this far, you're prepared. Comment has been activated below. Let me see who's awake. Let me see who's willing. Let me see who has the audacity to claim what is theirs. Because this is your moment. This is your time. This is your season. Everything you have gone through. Everything you've survived. Everything you've overcome. Everything had been leading up to this moment. Regarding this activation, for the awakening, for this initiation into power, let me tell you what the next 30 days will be like. If you completely commit, if you completely trust, if you completely surrender to the gift acting through you. Week 1. Old patterns break. Addictions loosen their grip. Toxic relationships end naturally. Limiting beliefs dissolve. You find yourself thinking differently. Speaking differently. Choosing differently. Not because you try. However, the gift is rewiring you from the inside out. Week 2. New opportunities arise. Invitations you didn't expect. Connections that appear divinely ordained. Resources that appear exactly when you need them. Doors that open without being pushed. Paths that are clear without your intervention. Week 3. Your confidence soars. Not arrogance. Nonetheless, certainty. A deep, unwavering conviction that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. The fact that everything works properly for you. You are incapable of failing. Failure is impossible when one is in tune with their gift. You take risks you would never consider. Normally, you would hide the truths you tell. You assert territories that you would normally avoid. Furthermore, it functions properly. All of this is possible because the gift is helping you, assisting you, preparing to move ahead of you. Week 4. Your life is unrecognizable. Your gaze is focused on the position you occupied 30 days ago. Furthermore, you are unable to believe it was you. The transformation is extremely thorough. Thus, in its entirety, it is indisputable. Individuals are observing. They inquire about the events that have occurred. They desire what you have. They sense the transition. And you realize that this is just the beginning. This is just the activation phase. Even genuine power has not yet been fully operational. The true gifts have yet to be fully realized. The true destiny has yet to be fully revealed. You are both exhilarated and terrified, for the simple reason that you realize your life will never be the same. You would also refuse to return, even if you could. This is the root. This is the method. This is the truth that has been hidden from you. Also, you are now aware. I now understand. You now understand. What are you going to do with it? Do you intend to assert or deny it? Will you activate it or disregard it, stepping into or away from it? You are free to make a decision. This has consistently been the case. It is, and always will be. However, be aware of this. If you respond affirmatively, if you commit, if you choose the gift over a comfortable lifestyle, over the secure route, within the foreseeable future, you'll never be the same. You will not be able to assimilate. You will never return to your previous state. Nonetheless, you will be liberated. Power will be at your disposal. You will embody everything you were meant to be. So make a decision. Right now. Presently. Before the reemergence of uncertainty. Before you are discouraged by fear. Before being convinced by logic it is absurd. Respond affirmatively. Claim it. Enable it. Enter it. Also, take note of the outcome. Observe the universe's motions. Observe how doors open. Observe how people arrive. Keep track of how resources are being distributed. Observe the gradual transformation of all elements. As a result, it does. It is mandatory. It's a legal requirement. When you act in accordance with your gift, you are in accord with reality. When you complete your destiny, the celestial realm acknowledges your dedication. When you decide your fate, you are reselected by destiny. And if you're still reading, if you're still present, if an internal voice screams, despite the fact that your mind is always agitated, no, you're aware. You understand that this is a genuine situation. You understand that this is intended for you. You understand that this is your opportunity. Therefore, don't waste it. Avoid wasting it. Do not let it pass you by. Receive your gift. Empower yourself. Accept your destiny. The world is waiting. Your tribe is anticipating your arrival. Your goal is to wait. And most importantly, the most elevated version of oneself waits for you to eventually become. Your identity has remained consistent throughout your life. Comment selected below. If you're ready to embark on this journey, please accept this as a declaration. Please accept this as a pledge. Please allow this to be the appropriate time. Everything underwent transformation. Right now, I'd like to share with you the signs that you're already starting to activate. Because many of you believe it is necessary to delay, in anticipation of an extraordinary revelation, a huge transformation, an irrefutable miracle. The gift is genuine before you know it. But this is not the case. The gift is undetectable. It is a present that is gentle. The present communicates in whispers, ahead of the roar. Therefore, exercise caution. Please see if any of these indicators are currently present in your life. Initially, unusual coincidences have been occurring in your life. Numbers that repeat in all directions. Songs that have lyrics. These statements speak directly to your current circumstances. Conversations that you overhear. That answers the questions you were considering. Books that abruptly fall from shelves. Open the page that you required. Complete strangers who express an opinion that alters your entire outlook. These are not just coincidences. These are not random. These are the gifts that are commencing communication with you, instructing you in its language, equipping you with the ability to identify its voice. If this resonates, submit 1111 below. Secondly, you have experienced an increasing sense of dissatisfaction with your present circumstances. Not depression. Not melancholy. However, it is a holy dissatisfaction. A divine restlessness. A recognition that one's current location is not the intended destination. That is not the purpose for which you were created. The person you are currently is merely a reflection of your potential. This sensation is not an issue. It is the gift of awakening. It is the emergence of your authentic self. Your destiny is compelling you to advance. Refrain from attempting to suppress it. Refrain from attempting to reconcile with mediocrity. Quit attempting to persuade yourself that settling is a wise decision. The gift that refuses to allow you to sleep through your own life is that restlessness. Third, you have been experiencing what appears to be a dark night of the soul. Everything that was previously functional ceases to function. Relationships that were once reassuring now feel oppressive. Jobs that were previously tolerable now resemble prisons. Patterns that were previously beneficial now manifest as chains. Friends who previously comprehended you now appear to communicate in a different language. This is not a failure. This is not in a state of disarray. This is the gift that dismantles everything that is not in alignment with your true calling. Dismantling the counterfeit structures. Destroying the counterfeit supports through combustion. Preparing the ground for the construction of something tangible. Refrain from resisting this process. It is not advisable to attempt to reassemble something that is intended to be broken. Have faith in the destruction. It is preparing for your resurrection. Fourth, you have been receiving downloads. Ideas that appear out of nowhere. Realistic visions that surpass reality. Knowings that are impossible to deny but cannot be elucidated. Solutions to issues that have perplexed you for an extended period of time. Suddenly apparent. Expressions of creativity that are eager to be born. Messages that require verbalization. Missions necessitating your involvement. These are not fanciful notions. These are not illusions. These are transmissions from your higher self. Instructions from the gift. The blueprints for your next level. Record them. Show them respect. Implement them, regardless of their apparent impossibility, despite the fact that they are illogical, even if no one else comprehends. The gift does not provide you with visions that are intended to cause you pain. It imparts visions that serve as direction, in order to adequately prepare you, to awaken the faith necessary to embody your greatness. Fifth, you have observed that traditional patterns are rupturing without your intentional intervention. The influence of addictions is waning. Compulsions are diminishing. The cessation of harmful behaviors. Dissolution of restrictive beliefs. The cessation of self-sabotaging behaviors. Moreover, you have not been relying solely on willpower. You have not been exerting yourself to improve. It is occurring in a natural manner. Naturally. Without difficulty. This is the gift that will rewire your system. Upgrading your operating system. Resetting your default settings. You are not required to attempt to modify the gift once it is activated. You undergo transformation due to your inability to remain static. The frequency of the gift is incompatible with the old version. Sixth, you experience a sense of relief rather than sadness as certain individuals depart from your life. People who you believed were necessary are revealing themselves as burdens rather than as wings. Relationships that you believed were indispensable are now revealed as optional. Connections that you believed would endure indefinitely are now displaying their expiration date. You experience liberation rather than devastation. You experience gratitude in place of sorrow. You experience a sense of liberation rather than attachment. This is the gift that helps you organize your life, eliminating individuals and objects that do not correspond to the frequency of your destination. Allow them to depart. May God bless them. Express your gratitude to them for the knowledge they have imparted. However, refrain from pursuing them. Refrain from imploring them to remain. The items designated for your subsequent chapter will be delivered at the appropriate time. If you have experienced this release, please share it. Seventh, you are acquiring new sensitivities. The presence of energy is palpable in rooms. You are aware of the true emotions that lie beneath the surface of individuals' words. Even when everything appears to be in order, you can detect when something is amiss. Lie detection is an immediate skill of yours. You are aware of manipulation before it has the ability to captivate you. You are capable of distinguishing truth from performance. Authenticity from a superficial appearance. This is not a case of paranoia. Judgment is not expressed here. This is the gift that grants you spiritual discernment, safeguarding you from potential harm, orienting you toward what is beneficial to you. Have faith in these emotions. Respect these instincts. They are more precise than any logic could ever be. Eighth, doctors are unable to elucidate the physical symptoms you have been experiencing. The sensation of tingling in your hands. Chest pressure. The movement of heat throughout your body. Vibrations that are perceived but not visible. Fatigue that is not alleviated by sleep. Muscle soreness that is not associated with physical activity. Signs of illness are not indicated by these. These are indicators of transformation. Your physical body is recalibrating to accommodate the frequency of the gift. Your nervous system is undergoing a process of improvement. Your energy centers are in the process of activating. Your cellular structure is undergoing a transformation. This may induce feelings of discomfort. This can be perceived as alarming. However, it is indispensable. It is only temporary. Additionally, it signifies that the gift is transitioning from a dormant state to an active one, from potential to kinetic, sleeping to waking. The subsequent phase necessitates comprehension of the following. After the gift has been fully activated, after you have claimed it and committed to it, once you have expressed your agreement with your entire being, your life will be divided into two distinct categories: prior to and subsequent to. Prior to and subsequent to activation. And you will reflect on the past and be astounded by your ignorance. You were thinking in a very small way. The extent to which your vision was restricted. The extent to which you were confined by convictions that were not even your own. It will be evident to you that all of the concerns you harbored were illusory. The entirety of your apprehensions was a mere illusion. Everything you believed to be impossible. It was only impossible because you were convinced that it was. Additionally, during that subsequent phase, in that state of activation, you will operate under a distinct C comment that has been selected below. Additionally, observe the subsequent events in your life. Distribute this message to an individual who requires it. A single action should be taken today. This demonstrates to the universe that you are committed to assuming your power. A single action. That is all that is required to commence. The gift is activated through voluntary action. The authority is asserted through a decision. Commitment is the catalyst for transformation. Decide. Assume authority. Adhere to the transformation. Your life will never be the same. Your selection was precisely based on this. Now, select yourself. Select your authority. Determine your objective. Determine your fate. Presently, the moment is upon us. The moment has arrived. Additionally, you are prepared. You have consistently demonstrated readiness. Enter it. Take ownership of it. Assume it. This is your natural right. This is your inheritance. You are the recipient of this gift. Claim it. We all ascend toward the light.
Welcome back, Chosen One. The light stopped you in your tracks for a divine purpose. Please pay close attention, because the information I'm about to share will fundamentally alter your perspective on your life, your challenges, and the causes of the recent, unimaginable hardships. It all comes down to achieving a level of comprehension that will leave you in awe. Have you had any experience with it? That weight, that heaviness, that sits on your chest when you wake up in the morning? The exhaustion that no amount of sleep appears to relieve? Despite your efforts to think clearly, your mind is clouded with confusion. The nagging doubt that you may not be cut out for this endeavor, that you should abandon your dreams and accept a lesser fate. You are affected by the disparities in treatment you have received from others. The way opportunities seem to elude you just as you are about to seize them. Relationships have disintegrated, crumbling like sand, despite my best efforts to keep them intact. Even those who had assured you that they would be present have abruptly vanished, leaving you to consider your actions. Additionally, it is critical that you understand the following at this time. This is not just a coincidence. This is not a sign of misfortune. This is not karma returning to bite you for something you did in the past. This is not a cosmic error that occurred when you were born, nor is it a punishment from the universe. This is war. Do you understand the significance of this? This indicates that you've been chosen, not for a trivial issue, not for ordinary purposes, not for an item that allows you to blend into the background and live a quiet, unnoticed existence. You have been chosen for a mission that is so important, powerful, and harmful to the kingdom of darkness that hell has called an emergency meeting to discuss you. Consider that for a second. Allow this to sink in on a spiritual level. Your name has been spoken in dimensions beyond what our physical eyes can perceive. Your assignment has been identified. Your call has been acknowledged. The adversary has assembled his troops to impede your progress. If you are viewing this and have felt a sudden surge in your spirit, do me a favor and leave a comment below saying, "Chosen," if you felt that confirmation deep inside your soul. I need you to determine how many of you are currently involved in this conflict. It is critical that you understand that you are not fighting this conflict in isolation. Ayan. Currently, an army of selected individuals is monitoring this, and it is critical that we establish contact. I have a shocking revelation to share with you. The devil does not waste time on insignificant people. He does not send his most powerful demons after people who are destined to live mediocre lives. He avoids planning elaborate attacks on people who are likely to remain at ease and never produce any results. He doesn't operate in that manner. He's a strategic thinker. He excels at calculations. He's been doing this for thousands of years and knows exactly where to focus his attention. Right now, his attention is focused on you. Do you want to know the reason? Because he sees something in you that you have yet to fully recognize in yourself. He sees the anointing that is present in your life. He recognizes the calling that is raging within you, despite your attempts to ignore it. He observes the gifts about to be activated. He understands the potential influence you are about to exert. He observes the lives that you are about to change. He perceives the generational curses you are about to break. The darkness you are about to reveal is obvious to him. He is terrified of the truth that you are about to reveal. Every betrayal you have endured, every door that has been closed in your face, every individual who has walked away when the going gets tough, every night you have cried yourself to sleep, wondering if God had forgotten about you. Every morning you have had to force yourself out of bed and put on a brave face when you felt like dying inside. Every moment when you wanted to quit, but something deep inside wouldn't let you. Every single painful, devastating, soul-crushing, they observed what you were carrying. They observed your transformation. Their panic was triggered by their realization of the circumstances that God is preparing you for. It isn't because you're perfect. It's not because you've figured everything out. It's not because you never make mistakes or fall down, but because you keep rising again. Because you persist in your efforts to advance, despite your natural tendency to retreat. Because you maintain your convictions despite the lack of tangible evidence. Because you continue to pray, even when the heavens appear silent. Because you continue to love despite the pain you have suffered. Because you continue to donate despite having been exploited. Because you refused to succumb to bitterness, even though you were entitled to it. That is what makes you a threat to the kingdom of darkness. Your fortitude. You have faith. Your refusal to surrender. Your unwillingness to let your pain change you into a different person. Your unwavering determination to keep a tender heart in a harsh world. Your commitment to prioritizing love despite the temptation to choose hate. Your decision to persist in your pursuit of purpose despite the apparent ease of comfort. Pay attention. I require your immediate understanding of a critical matter. If you have been experiencing immense suffering, if the attacks have been relentless, and it appears that you are fighting on all fronts, it is not the result of a curse. That does not indicate God's abandonment of you. That does not prove that you are engaging in illegal activity or that you are being punished for your past. That serves as confirmation that you're on track. God did not select you for an easy life. He chose you to live an extraordinary life. Furthermore, extraordinary lives require extraordinary preparation. The very thing that is currently attempting to break you is also forming you into the person you need to be in order to reach your goal. Consider the situation. It is impossible to cultivate an unshakable faith without first experiencing a crisis of faith. It is impossible to develop courage without confronting fear. Resistance is necessary for the development of strength. It is impossible to become wise without making mistakes. Compassion cannot be developed in the absence of pain. It is impossible to develop authority without being subjected to pressure. Everything you're going through right now is preparing you for the answers to your prayers. The position you were let go from. It was preventing you from finishing your genuine assignment. That relationship ultimately ended. They were unable to travel to your destination. That betrayal ripped your heart apart. It exposed those who were not truly supportive of you before your progress. That failure made you feel humiliated. It imparted knowledge that success could never offer. The diagnosis that made you feel scared. It is encouraging you to rely on God in ways you have never done before. That financial crisis caused you so much stress. It is repositioning you for a blessing so significant that you must have empty hands to accept it. You are not being punished by God. He's preparing you. The enemy is attempting to conceal the significant difference between the two. Every assault, ignore it. Every impediment, every delay, every disappointment. It is a collaborative effort to create an internal entity that cannot be cultivated through any other means. You're not in disarray. You're currently undergoing reconstruction. You're not losing your identity. You're discovering who you are. You're not regressing. You're currently being positioned. When he attacked you, the devil made a critical error. He thought the pressure would cause you to collapse. He thought the pain would cause you to break. He believed that isolation would be your undoing. He believed that the opposition would prevent you from proceeding. He believed that the betrayal would make you bitter. He believed that the setbacks would be enough to persuade you to quit. However, your refusal to remain seated surprised him. He failed to account for the warrior spirit that God implanted within you before you were born. He overlooked your resilience. His error was in his assessment of your ability to transform suffering into might. He failed to recognize that each weapon he devised to harm you would eventually work in your favor, because you are devoted to a God who is known for transforming messes into messages and tests into testimonies. You're still present. You continue to stand upright. You continue to engage in conflict. You maintain your conviction. You continue breathing. This alone is causing me great distress at the moment, because they have thrown everything at you, and you are still alive. I'd appreciate it if you could click the like button if this speaks to you at this time. Not for me, but as a declaration to the spiritual realm that you will not back down. That you are aware of the circumstances. That you are aware of your call. That you are ready to receive everything God has in store for you. Furthermore, I'd like to inform you of the events that have occurred in the unseen realm during this extremely demanding season. God has been operating on your soul while you've been feeling isolated and attacked. He has been removing the people, patterns, beliefs, behaviors, and mindsets that would have harmed your destiny. He has been removing everything that is not built on a solid foundation. So you'll be ready to keep it going when the blessing, breakthrough, doors open, and favor appears. Because this is the issue. God will never give you an external experience for which you have not adequately prepared internally. He has an excessive fondness for that. He understands that giving you a blessing before you are ready will lead to your downfall. As a result, he allows you to pass through the fire, not to harm you, but to cleanse you. I'm not punishing you. I'm preparing you. He is not attempting to break you. Rather, he is remaking you into a version of yourself capable of dealing with the upcoming events in your life. You've been in a situation where prayers seemed to bounce off the ceiling, doors remained shut despite your knocks, seeds appeared to die in the ground, each step felt like you were walking through mud, and dreams seemed to recede rather than approach. However, you did not observe the following. God was speaking to your adversaries during your time in the wilderness. He was closing the mouths of lions attempting to eat you. He was preparing ambushes for the ones that were meant for you. He was causing confusion in the enemy camp. He was making a path where none existed. He was preparing you for a comeback that would bring everyone who had dismissed you to silence. Your permanent residence was never meant to be in the wilderness. It was designed to function as your transformation chamber, training ground, and preparation area. You were not subject to any sanctions at that location. You were getting a promotion at the time. Every day, you braved the wilderness. You were honing skills that would be useful in the promised land. You were learning to hear God's voice more clearly. When everything else was stripped away, you were discovering your true self. You were cultivating a faith that does not require physical evidence to be accepted. And now, in this season, God is preparing to lead you out. Your wilderness training has concluded, not because it has ended, not because the battle has ended, but because you can now participate in combat at a higher level. Not because the adversary has surrendered, but because you have developed the courage to decisively defeat him. Is this something that speaks to you? That restlessness that has recently increased, that stirring in your spirit, that change in the atmosphere? That sensation that suggests a significant event is approaching, despite the fact that it is impossible to rationalize. The deep conviction that you are on the verge of a major breakthrough. That isn't just wishful thinking. This serves as prophetic confirmation. That is the Holy Spirit preparing you for upcoming events. That is the result of a divine alignment of events in your favor. That is the current moment, and your season is changing as you hear these words. The enemy has been attacking you because he understands that your time is up. Not in the following year. Not until you're better prepared. Not if the circumstances are ideal. Not until you've addressed all issues. The time has come for you. This is your season. This is your hour. Even if you were hesitant, the devil knows. What is your reason for believing that the attacks have become more severe? What is your reason for believing that resistance has increased? What is your reason for believing that the opposition has grown? Because you are now closer than ever. As a result of your upcoming breakthrough. Because you are on the verge of accomplishing everything you have fought for through prayer. Individuals who are too far from their destiny are not targeted by the adversary. He attacks those who are about to enter it. You are no longer just in close proximity. Right there you are. You've arrived at the conclusion. You have reached a critical point. You are currently at an intersection where all circumstances are undergoing transformation. This is why it's so intense. This is the cause of your extreme fatigue. This explains why the spiritual warfare has been unprecedented. Because you are about to enter a realm of